Amina, great having you here. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Please tell the people about what you do for AWS.
Hi, everyone. I'm Namita Das. I'm a principal product manager at Amazon Bedrock.
All right.
Awesome.
That's what we're here to talk about, right?
Yeah, we're super excited to figure out how AM was able to generate this movie.
Yeah, what can you tell us about Bedrock before I know you've got a really cool demo to show us, and we always love demos here on Air. But before we get to the demo, can we give the people an idea about how they should be thinking about Bedrock, how they can use Bedrock, things around that?
So Amazon Bedrock, it recently went GA end of September. It's a fully managed service that offers choice of high-performing foundation models. The previous speaker just spoke a lot about large language models. Large language models are one sort of foundation models. And Bedrock provides you these foundation models from leading AI companies like AI21, Anthropic, Cohere, Meta, Stability, and Amazon itself. And all of this from one single API. And along with that, you also get these broad set of capabilities that you need to build generative AI applications. So that we can simplify development, we can simplify deployment while maintaining privacy and security. So what I see where a lot of customer interest is in the choice of foundation models that you get. Each model has different performance. Each model comes with different price. So you can definitely look at your price to performance, like what works best for your use case. Another thing I hear that customers really like about Bedrock is the fact that you can customize models. You can customize these base foundation models, whether you want to change them for a particular task that you're trying to do, and that's called fine tuning. And the last thing I hear is that what customers are really looking for is tooling. It's not just about playing with foundation models, but really using these foundation models in specific use cases. And so the previous person spoke a lot about, like NVIDIA spoke a lot about RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. And my demo is also around that, on how you can see Bedrock and use the tooling to enable retrieval augmented generation. Or if you want to execute an action, something like add X to my cart or book this travel, or you're processing insurance claims. So really using these foundation models in workflows and building agents as well. And Bedrock provides you those tooling all under your AWS security.
So I think
go ahead.
I think what's going on with generative AI is just super cool. I mean, I think that how you can just use it to just generate movies if you want to, like AM. So, and you hear a lot about it, but can you talk a little bit about what's the difference between generative AI and traditional machine learning?
Yeah. So I really like to start with generative AI is still machine learning. So generative AI, what is it doing? It's generating. What is it generating? It can generate content, images, videos, audio. So it's generating. Let me just take a really simple example of text. So it's generating text. So where is machine learning? So what's really happening behind the scenes? It's the model creates a whole matrix of what's the next word and gives it a probability score. And it uses the top word with the highest probability and it shows it to you. So behind the scenes, there is still machine learning, there's still math that's happening. But what users see is that, whoa, it's generating content. So what's different? Like machine learning's been there for so long, deep learning's been there for so long. So what's different? So in generative AI are powered by foundation models. And the way I like to think about this is like a foundation of your house that you can use as is, or you can build on top of it. So in traditional ML, let's say I wanted to do sentiment analysis. I first need to get a data set where someone is actually going through positive words and negative words and labeling it. This is a good word. This is a bad word. This is a good word. This is a bad word. So you've hired someone to do this. Someone has created that data set, and then you've trained a model. And at the end of your training, that model can do one thing. It can tell you the sentiment. But in foundation models, what happens is we train the model just looking at a lot of data. Usually model providers take data from the internet. Some also take some proprietary data. And it's like a 2-year-old growing into a 3-year-old that is suddenly like seeing things that are happening, and suddenly it can start forming words, and it understands the meaning of different things and can form sentences. But you didn't label anything. You didn't say that this was good, this was bad, this was summarization, this was classification, this was intent. You didn't teach it, but it learns a lot. And so what's different is with foundation models that out of the box, you can use that large model to do certain things that it already knows how to do, or you can customize it, that you can fine tune it to do certain tasks for your organization without needing a lot of data. So that's the difference now.
Super cool. Yeah.
Now, I know you've got this demo to show us. Do you want to hop into the demo? I know we've got
Yeah.
you've got a hard stop, so we want to make sure we get to see this in action.
I want to show you, I'm going to start with just showing you Bedrock.
Okay.
So when you first come to the AWS console, you come to the Bedrock console, you see the choice of the different models that we have from the different model providers that we have. You have different playgrounds that you can go to, whether you want to interface with those models through chat or you want to generate, and you can also customize the models. But what I really want to talk about are these features which are in preview, which customers are really excited about, because this is what the tooling is that helps you to create these generative AI applications and use these foundation models for specific use cases. I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you how you can do retrieval augmented generation, which is, and we've heard this a lot, but what happens is these models, they're trained on generic web data. But enterprise customers, especially, they're like, well, I want to enable a user experience for my end customer, but I want to talk about my company and the products that my company talks about. Imagine you are talking about my washing machine broke. How do I fix it? And so you want to talk about detailed products. It might not be on the web, and it is specific to your company. And I'm also going to show you agents, and I'm going to combine these two things together, because what agents does it allows you to build orchestrations, to build these managed agents that can also execute different actions as well. So let me go through that. I'm going to combine knowledge bases with agents to show you retrieval augmented generation. And for that, I want to first start with showing you the data set that I'm going to use. So for the data set, let me just really quickly change my screen to show you that I have downloaded this Amazon's Q3 earnings report, this PDF file, and I've uploaded it in my S3 bucket. And now I'm going to switch screens again and go to Amazon Amazon Bedrock. Share screen. I have to just do a little bit of. I'm going to go to knowledge base, and I'm going to sign in first. Okay, so we are starting again. I'm going to go to knowledge base, where I'm going to first start creating a knowledge base so that I can point Bedrock to my data set. So to create a knowledge base, I'm going to just say this is Amazon earning, Amazon Q3 earning. I've already created an existing role, so I'm just going to choose that for now. And now I'm going to add my data set. So this is Amazon Q3. My data set that I showed you, the PDF file that I showed you, it's already in my Bedrock knowledge base S3 bucket. I'm choosing that. And now what Bedrock is saying, that it's going to use the Titan embeddings model to take my documents, break it into sizable chunks, and convert this into embeddings. And the reason it's doing this, converting into embeddings and then storing it into a vector database, so that it can enable semantic search. And that's the beauty of using foundation models with semantic search to do this document Q&A type use case or RAG use case, that it can be more accurate. Earlier we would do keyword search, and if I was searching for something like, what is the price of my laptop? And in all my documents, price was not mentioned. It was only said that the cost of my the cost of the laptop is X. It would never find that.
Couldn't find price, right? Because you said
Mm.
price. Price.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
said price and cost are two different words.
Right.
But in semantic search, the what embeddings does it takes your content and converts it into embeddings, which captures the semantic meaning. So semantically, the cost of something and the price of something, it means the same thing.
Right.
So I'm going to select Amazon OpenSearch Serverless. Just want to quickly change screens again to show you that I've already created the serverless Amazon OpenSearch Serverless and where I'll be copying data from. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going to my serverless collections. I've already created an empty bucket and I've already created an empty index. So I'm going to first copy the ARN, and then I'm going to copy this ARN, and I'm going to copy. I will actually go to indexes. I will copy the index name, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. And then I'm also going to copy the vector field. So I'm going to switch back and show you where I'm pasting these things, because I need to tell Bedrock what my location, so that my vector location, so that I can store those embeddings in there. So again, switching back to the Bedrock screen. And I can then copy everything. So just hold on. Changing. Oops.
And I find this to be super interesting. I mean, it's literally just a couple of clicks to do something that's really cool and very useful.
Well, it's like giving context to the LLM that it didn't have before, right?
Yeah.
And now
Right.
you can utilize. You don't have to. You have to build a custom model that has access to this data set or anything anywhere else. You can just use it in Bedrock and give it this context, be able to use it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so this text field is where your actual chunks will be stored along with the vector embedding. So I'm just going to call it text chunk for now. And then Bedrock is going to store some extra metadata. And the reason it does that is because we want to provide you source attribution. We want to provide you, when we are doing document Q&A, that from what data and which document did we take that answer from. So I'm just going to call this Bedrock metadata so that it can store that. When I click next, it gives you a view of everything that I have entered, just so that I can confirm. And if I don't like something, I can change it. And I can hit create knowledge base, which then starts to which then creates this connection between Bedrock and OpenSearch Serverless. I've already done this step because it does take a little bit of time. So I'm just going to go to the existing one that I've created. So once you create this, you have to hit sync, and sync will start taking your documents and it'll start chunking those documents into smaller groups. Then it'll take each chunk, use the embeddings model, convert to embeddings, and upsert it into this vector store. So now Bedrock knows where my data is. And I'm going to go to agents now to create an agent to show you. And I'm combining two things. I'm combining retrieval augmented generation and the use of agents so that you can see. Now think of this as I'm creating an agent that just does retrieval augmented generation. So come to agents, and I'm going to say agents test 2, and I'm going to say this is an agent to demo retrieval augmented generation. I want the agent to ask questions if it doesn't understand what a customer is asking. So I want it to ask extra questions. I have a role that I'm giving it, and I want that the session to get timed out. And the beauty of agents is it does all this memory management behind. The other thing that I'm selecting a large language model now. Claude V1 is fine, and I'm going to give this instructions to agent of like, who are you? And these instructions are really important. So what I write here, what's happening behind the scene, is that we are creating a prompt for the large language model. And we worked with these model providers on these prompts so that we get the best performance from them.
I don't want to interrupt you, but we do have a question from chat. You mentioned vector databases when creating the knowledge base earlier. Can Bedrock utilize vector databases, graph databases, both, or is there an optimization for one or the other?
Yeah, so right now we are supporting vector databases. We have OpenSearch, we have Pinecone, we have Redis Enterprise Cloud. We will be launching more and more so that we understand customers have different preferences for what type of vector database that they would like to use. So we will be expanding on that as well.
Great, thanks.
Awesome.
So I will skip this, but if you have an action that you want to add, like you want an API call to be added, you can add that over here. You just have to wrap the Lambda API in a Lambda function. Think of this as make a booking or get pricing for a particular product or start the return process. So then you can use these action groups. We're going to skip that for now, and we're just going to add our knowledge base. So we had the Amazon earnings. And now I have to write another instruction. This instruction, again, is really important because this is how we're going to instruct and create that internal prompt that is being created. So I'm saying that, hey, this is a search tool. This knowledge base is a search tool that helps you find information. And I click next. I see everything's good, and I create an agent. Now, what's happening behind the scenes is that it is taking all these instructions and creating that prompt template that's going to interact with this large language model. And this model already has understanding of it has these tools, and it'll go through chain of thought reasoning and see when do I need to apply this. So I'm just going to ask it a question. For example, what were the net sales, not sales for Amazon in Q3 2023? And this query is now automatically being converted to embeddings. It's being sent to the knowledge base where it's doing a vector search, a similarity search using cosine, and it's retrieving the top 10 chunks of text where it'll match. And then those chunks will be sent to the LLM where it would then create a particular answer. Now, in this case, what were the new sales for Amazon in Q3 2020? New sales, I meant to write net sales. That's why it did not. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, I did take a screenshot of how
That's live demo. That's a live demo.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can take out my screenshot that I had shared earlier with the team. It still doesn't like it, which is fine, but I will show you. Trying to see how I can download this image to show you. So I'm going to just quickly open. Let's ask one more question.
Sure. Yeah. Let's try one more.
Yeah.
We are close to time here.
Yes,
and we believe you.
Did net sales increase for Amazon in Q3? And if it still doesn't, well, too bad.
That's how you know it's live.
That's why you know it's live. Yes, I am pasting the image on a quip so you can see it really quickly. Till then, so insert an image from my laptop. Till then, and I can. So, okay, so today it doesn't want to cooperate with me, but I will very quickly change my screens to show you.
This is great.
So when I tried the same, what is Amazon's net sales in third quarter? Maybe I should try that. And that's another thing of like prompt engineering that you want to prompt it correctly. But it did show me that according to the information provided, and it gave me these source attribution. If you see this 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you click on it, it shows you that S3 file that you had taken. But let's try just one more time. What is Amazon's net sales in the third quarter? And if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, we do have to move after that too, because we've got a lot more content to get to.
We have a lot more content to get to. So I definitely understand that. I wish it worked. But if it doesn't, that's
okay too.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Still in preview, and there's a lot more features that we are adding, and a lot more capabilities that we are adding to this.
All right.
Awesome.
Very, very cool. Yeah, and like I said, it worked perfectly for me when I was creating my my imagined movie business, which I felt a little attacked when you talked about people playing with LLMs. I feel like that was aimed at me. Wasn't, because that's very serious business that I'm undertaking. Anyway. Thank you for joining us, Navita. We really appreciate your time. Unfortunately, we are going to have to move on to our next guest here. We're going to be talking with Kimberly about SageMaker. So let's
Bye-bye.
roll that clip.